Hey everybody, Paul Berry Family from the Gaming.
And I'm King Gamer.
And I am Good Gamer, and this is going to be things.
This is an FFG Chronicles.
About the top.
About
it's not
Ubisoft,
Ubisoft,
and Sony's
Sony
E3 press conferences.
Games.
So we'll start with Ubisoft. They started with Rabbids, which was really funny.
Rabbids Mario.
Yeah, so the Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. It's an SRPG coming out on Switch. What is it, August 29th?
Yep.
Yes.
And they actually had some Nintendo people there with their little handgun things. We thought they were t-shirt shooters at first, but they weren't. They were just
No, you didn't. I did.
props.
I was like, oh, they're gonna start shooting T-shirts. Maybe they have some
I thought
rabbit
they were
plushes
guns.
in there.
So that game looks really good. We're excited about that game. Looking forward to it. Then they went over some macabre, morbid games. In fact, I noticed this. Ubisoft and Sony both went back and forth. So they have a good game, then a horrible, bad game, then they had a good game. And so they would go back and forth. Then the Crew 2. The Crew 2 looks good. I really hope there's going to be less adult-only content. I hope they go away from the horrible criminal story that they did in the first one. And the difficulty.
If we look at it from a racing perspective, they've really improved because it's what we've talked about. It's not just a car racing game or a boat racing game or a plane racing game. It's all.
And what else did they add? Do you remember what else they added?
Oh, they added, they added cars, planes, RC boats.
Motorcycles.
I mean, motorcycles and boats.
So yeah, they had motorcycles. Then they had another macabre morbid game with way too much profanity. But speaking of which, I am very pleased that they didn't have, I think it was Aisha. They didn't have her there this year.
Miss Bucky?
Her, potty mouth is horrible, and it's, not for kids.
We got to Far Cry without any profanity from the presenters.
And then they have South Park, and it's, just horrible. It was nasty. It was like, well, this is not for kids. I mean, it's like having to put earplugs in because it's so horrible and positive.
And that's why you have to be 18 to go to E3.
I mean, it was like wow, it was bad.
Yeah.
So then they had some macabre, morbid, scary game in VR.
Yeah, creepy.
We thought Skulls and Bones might be okay, but then when they sent the press release, they're like, you have to age gate any videos for this because it's macabre and morbid. And I'm like, oh man, you guys had such an opportunity with Skulls and Bones.
It looked good. It would probably be kind of in the
But then we
realm
saw
of
blood.
Destiny where it has offline, online. It would have been like that.
So then they gave a very small amount of time for Just Dance 2018, which will be coming out in October 2017. I really was hoping for more for Just Dance. It was kind of disappointing that they just had people dance, and then some lady came out and sang, I guess it's I Want to Dance with Somebody, but that was an old 80s song, so I guess she's redone it recently. I don't know who she is. I don't know anything about the song.
If we look at what the big thing was, it seemed like Rabbids and Mario is where they had the big because every year Ubisoft starts with something big. Last year is what Just Dance. They had the lion out there dancing. And
This time they had the
robot cyborg
panda.
Panda bear with the thing around his neck.
So then they had a morbid macabre app, and I was just like, why?
Oh, more South Park.
Yeah, it was just disgusting.
Yeah.
Now the
The adaptable Switch.
The adaptable Switch controller space shooter, which is actually going to be on the Xbox One and PS4 as well.
It's also on the Switch.
Battle for Atlas.
You put the ships on the Switch controller.
Yes, or the Xbox One or the PS4.
Yeah.
It looked pretty good.
It just
looked interesting.
It looks like
pretty heavy.
Once you get later in the game, after you buy all the stuff, it's going to be really
price
expensive.
is what worries me.
Once you try to pick up your controller, you're going to be building muscles because you're having to lift it.
It's going to break.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're going to be leaving it flat and playing like this. You're not going to be holding the back. You're just going to be
like... And like I said, I worry about price. I really worry about the price of that because they're like, you can install more armor. I'm like, and how much does that cost? You know,
well, we can give a benefit out. Maybe it all comes with it, just you have to unlock it in the game to use it.
So then they had some Steep DLC, Road to the Olympics. That actually makes sense, putting the Olympics in Steep. That's kind of cool. December 5th, that comes out.
Wasted potential of the game.
So then they had the macabre, morbid, offensive to Christians. I mean, I can't believe they did that. There has been so much complaints about this, and they're not listening. So... in my opinion, what they showed us, that should have been AO. That should have been adult only. With all of the profanity, all of the blood, all of the gore. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, I looked up.
The F and the S word?
Yes, no.
I look up, and I just see some guy plowing someone with a farm plower, what you cut wheat with.
Yeah.
Someone's getting ran over with that. Something's wrong.
So Ubisoft ended with yet another macabre morbid game that really should have stayed dead. They should have kept that franchise
Beyond.
For a long time.
If you read our review, you know what we think of Beyond Good and Evil. So my thought was a sequel was never, ever needed.
Ooh.
But hey.
Sony.
So now we're gonna get to the Sony, and actually we're gonna start Sony with the pre-show. We'll get to you. You know, they had ads for like the PlayStation experience. That was actually at the end.
Yeah.
PlayStation Pro.
I like the fact that they're gonna lower game prices for like
NAC is gonna be 40.
NAC 2.
NAC 2.
NAC 2.
Then the other game is gonna be 40 as well.
I think Gran Turismo
And
might be.
September 5th, NAC 2 will be coming out. So that's really cool. They're dropping their game prices to 40. I think they're gonna make more sales of that. This is something that we've asked for a long time.
And
we said bring game prices down, because the other thing is they'll release at 60, and maybe within a month it's down to 30 or 40 already. Yeah. It's like that's really where it should have been in the first place.
And Sony is doing real good with their prices.
Yeah. Then they had this thing about
like the first game of it.
PlayLink.
Yeah, PlayLink.
Do you remember much about PlayLink?
Yes, it's okay. So it's basically a rip-off of Jack in Box Party, where you take your phone, connect it to your PS4, use it as a controller, and play some horror game. Was the first thing they showed.
Then they showed that party game.
About Tropico.
Yeah, that's you. That's you.
Tropico.
We'll get there.
It's next.
That's you. Then Everybody Golf, which really is Hot Shots Golf, but I guess in Japan it was Everybody Golf.
You can fish there too.
Yeah, with it. August 29th, Everybody Golf comes out. That'll also be $40. And they made some joke about if you had a tattoo for Hot Shots Golf, remove it. Okay, who out there is doing Hot Shots tattoos? Come on now.
I mean, I know there's some dedicated fans for Dragon Quest. I know there's some people that have like just an entire arm each of Dragon Quest to run out of space.
What is that, Spark VR?
Yeah.
It looked kind of like Tron. It was like one person on one side, one person on the other side, and you're throwing and bouncing off walls and trying to hit them, and you have a shield. That looked kind of interesting from VR. And then Tropico 6, like you mentioned, 2018. We're kind of interested in Tropico 6. I really hope they remove some of the offensive stuff that we've talked about in previous reviews, and or at the very least, if they're going to put something offensive in there, that they would put the exact opposite. So if they're like, we're going to redefine marriage, okay, then let us have traditional marriage too. There isn't that choice. People are like, oh, you get it by default by not picking the other one. Well, no, I don't believe it. I believe you should be able to say, I want this in my game, and you should be able to pick. If you want to put the other, you should put the majority opinion in there too.
And this next one, I think, was a surprise to everyone that watched it. Undertale is coming to consoles finally. The PC game. We have a series. Maybe we should get back on camera. We don't need you leaving yet.
Well, we did record the first game of it.
Yes, he recorded the entire Undertale Neutral.
No, Neutral.
If you haven't seen that series, go watch it. It's really good.
Maybe a physical copy out.
And a collector's edition. We really hope they're going to give us the physical copy collector's edition so we can do an unboxing for you guys. Mm-hmm. If they're listening, please provide it.
Please put that in the description below.
Then they ended with Ni no Kuni 2, looking pretty good.
Ni no Kuni 2.
And of course, it ended with the PlayStation Experience ad. And then we finally got the Sony press conference. And I got to tell you, I actually think the pregame show was better than the press conference, honestly.
Yeah.
So they started with the PS Vue ad, then the PS4 Gold ad. And then we got some hippie music intro. I don't know if they're from India, but that was freaky.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the game was.
Yeah, and then they had audio fail after that. So you give us this horrible.
Why couldn't the audio fail happen during the music?
And then the game audio fails.
Yeah, Uncharted.
So after that, they started with three in a row, macabre games, morbid games. Then the Sony rep came out and he claimed that they had the
best.
Was it like Sean Payton or something?
No.
Phil Spencer was for the Xbox. Anyway, and the Sony rep came out and said they had the best games.
Akira Toriyama.
And they had some horrible lag. Sony did. I mean, Microsoft and Ubisoft were way better.
I mean, I remember I checked at one point. It was like 300,000 people there. I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure Twitch or YouTube, whatever they're streaming on, was struggling.
So then, Monster Hunter World coming out early 2018. It should be teen, most likely.
Yep.
It's not the greatest game for families, but the older members of families might enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Shadows of Colossus, also 2018.
Yeah.
That was like an old, PS2 game they're finally bringing back.
Wii. I mean, people liked it for some reason. I don't know why. So
you notice here, the only games we can cover this far for Sony on the press conference is like they're probably going to all be T. You know.
And maybe.
So they had E and E10 on the pregame show.
Yeah.
So the pregame show was better.
They also had Crash Bandicoot in the pregame show. We didn't mention that.
Yeah, they had Crash Bandicoot, which is an Activision title, but then Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, September 19th. Again, the T game, fighting game. Then they have Macabre and Morbid. Then they started going to the PlayStation VR. More Macabre and Morbid.
Wasn't like Resident Evil 7.
Star Child looked pretty cool though.
Yeah, I think I remember. Yeah.
Resident Evil.
That one has potential.
Ready for the next one.
So then there was another Macabre and Morbid game.
Final Fantasy
Fishing. VR Fishing.
You could catch fish in the game. Maybe
I mean, it was only a matter of time before we got
maybe for a DLC for the game.
No, it's an entirely new game. They're gonna charge you like full 40 bucks a square.
Then there was another Macabre Morbid game, and finally, at this point, we've gone through all this. Moss. Remember that little mouse?
Yeah.
Moss actually looks good for families, and that's a VR game. And you're like interacting with the environment to help the mouse go along. That looked pretty cool.
It did. It looked pretty good. It had pretty good colors. You're like in a forest.
Then we went back to normal PS4
there was
VR
a
games.
Snake there too.
Or the PS4 games, no more VR.
Yeah.
2 Macabre Morbid games.
Yeah.
Then Destiny 2,
which
September 6th.
Got moved back 2 days because it had been
July
September
the
8th.
6th, I think.
Then the Sean Payton came out and he claimed that they had the best games again. I guess he figures with repetition, we tell him the same thing, we'll get it.
The next one's our favorite.
And then they finally ended with Spider-Man. It was very action-packed. Looks fun, 2018.
I mean, it's kind of hard to decide between who had the better one so far.
Well, I would have
Ubisoft
to
or
say
Sony. They're the only two competitors. The pregame show.
Yeah.
I would have to say Knack would probably be in the Mario.
Ubisoft had a whole bunch more
Mario,
stuff.
Rabbids, and Knack would probably be one of the 2 good ones, maybe.
It's tight. I mean,
we'll see what Nintendo does. Maybe Nintendo will just completely shock us, announce a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Unless they do.
Ubisoft had a couple big ones, and I really think Sony had a few more. Just a few more that would be better for families.
Well.
So that's all the thoughts I have. You have any more thoughts?
No, after they were watching, say have a wonderful day.
What about Peter? Does Peter have any thoughts?
Nah, I don't got any thoughts.
Okay.
Bye.